Well, I don't know if you knew this. We're right in the middle of Screen-Free Week. Don't go away. Don't you go anywhere.
Leave this screen on.
Please. It's when many people choose to put down their phones, turn off the TV sets, and spend a little less time on that computer.
A recent study shows that we're more distracted than ever. We check our smartphones, and I think you and I are probably guilty of this. We check our smartphones 150 times a day. We spend 5 hours a day online, and we watch more than 4 hours of TV each day. Hey, GDC's on for 6.
Yeah.
You should be here for at least those 6.
Well, regardless, it's fitting that our next guests are here this morning because these guys are minimalists. They are 2 guys from Ohio who are now making it their life's mission to basically live with less of life, if you know what I mean. All the goodies that we all love. Childhood friends Josh Millburn and Ryan Nicodemus are with us. Guys,
good morning.
Good morning.
You aren't
Thanks for
dirty
having
or
us.
smelly or anything.
I know.
That's awesome.
Thanks. Hygiene products are still important to
They're
own.
still important.
Yeah.
So that part you're not going completely minimal on, but let's start with where you began. You're both from Dayton. You grew up in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, we've known each other since we were fat little 5th graders and climbed the corporate ladder together in our 20s. And by 27, I was the youngest director in my company's 140-year history and had all the trappings of success. The big house with more bedrooms than inhabitants, 6-figure salary, the clothes, the furniture, the appliances, all the stuff that filled my life. And then 2 things happened. My marriage ended and my mother died, both in the same month.
Oh, in the same month.
In the same month. And I looked around where all my life's energy had gone. All my focus had been on accumulating and so-called achievements. And what I realized was that I didn't really experience happiness and all the things that I thought were supposed to make me happy. And I knew a change was in order. And I stumbled across this thing called minimalism. Spent about 8 months of my life radically simplifying, getting the clutter out of the way so I could make room for what was truly important. And at the end of those 8 months, Ryan came to me and said, you know, I see that you're a lot happier. Why the heck are you so happy lately?
Interesting.
So yeah, that was the beginning of this journey.
What did you notice? What was it that you looked at him and said, happier?
You know, I remember going to his apartment after, you know, he moved out and split up with his wife, and I noticed that, you know, his space was a little clearer. He didn't have a TV. And he was smiling, he was getting through life, you know, just a lot easier, just kind of, you know, taking things in stride, especially after these 2 traumatic events happening. And I just noticed this change in him, you know, not just with, you know, his apartment, but with his attitude as well.
So the question, how did you survive? Were you working? What were you doing at that point?
Yeah, I was still working in the corporate world. I had amassed a massive amount of debt because even though I made really good money, I was spending even better money, living the American dream, keeping up with the Joneses, the Kardashians, and all of them. And I realized that I needed to have a plan in order to pay off a lot of my debt. So I stayed in the corporate world for a long time, but ultimately realized that what I was doing didn't align with my values and beliefs. And so I did make a change ultimately and decided to live more simply, not just in terms of money, but in terms of my entire lifestyle.
So minimalism, and that's where we are now. You're living where?
Right now we are in Missoula, Montana.
Missoula, Montana. That's a big change from the Dayton area.
Yes, absolutely.
And what is minimalism? What's different now for you?
You know, minimalism is really a tool that people can use to live more deliberately and to question the things that truly add value or bring joy to people's lives.
So you got rid of everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
I got to say, how did we get a hold of you?
So here's what I did, because I got to a point in my life where I just didn't know what was important anymore. So when I went to Josh and asked him why he was so happy, and he told me about this thing called minimalism, I thought, okay, maybe I can use this to try and gain a different perspective on life to figure out what is important. And I did this thing called a packing party where I packed all my belongings in my 2,000 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2 living rooms. I have no idea why a single guy needs 2 living rooms. But I packed everything up as if I were moving, and then I unpacked things as I needed it day by day for 3 weeks to really figure out what I was using.
What you're really using.
Yeah, and after the end of those 3 weeks, I had 80% of my stuff still sitting in boxes. And that's really where the Minimalists.com started, was with that 21-day packing party.
So people can do this themselves. You'll show them how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Or you can start really small. That's usually recommend to get momentum. Ryan's a radical guy. He wants to get really fast results. You can do what I did, and we turned it into a game actually, because we all know decluttering is kind of boring. We call it the minimalism game. It's a little more fun with some friendly competition. So you can find a friend, family member, partner, spouse, a coworker, play the game together. So over the course of
My stuff.
I don't even want to see your stuff.
Well, that's the cool part about it. You get rid of your own stuff, but over the course of a month, it starts off real easy. First day of the month, you each get rid of 1 item. Second day of the month, 2 items. Third day of the month, 3 items, so forth and so on.
Yeah.
Really simple at first, but by the time you get to day 20, it becomes a little bit more difficult because it's 20 items on day 20. And whoever goes the longest wins. If you both make it to the end of the month, you both win because you've each gotten rid of 500 items.
And whoever gets rid of the most, the other one gets all that stuff. That's the way it works.
Now, well, I'm going to, real quick question about
Certainly.
the passion thing. Why is finding your passion such a bad thing?
You know, we were told this all the time. You're supposed to follow your passion. You hear it on blogs and self-help books and conferences. But that presupposes that we all have this pre-existing passion. But the truth is, there are dozens of things that any of us can be passionate about. The key is to find something you're interested in, something that aligns with your values and your beliefs, and cultivate it into a passion.
You don't necessarily have to move to Missoula for it, but you can still make it happen.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Everything That Remains is the name of the book, and you guys are doing a book signing tonight at the Book Loft.
Exactly.
We are, yeah.
6 o'clock.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having
us.
us.
I have to say, that Joshua Fields Millburn with Interruptions by Ryan.
Well, we're constantly interrupting each other.
Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.